Would you like to look like a pro in every aspect of your business? Would that possibly affect the number of sales that you could make? Often we talk about branding like colors and fonts and pictures and whatnot, but have you ever considered your choice of payment solutions and financial strategy greatly affects your audience's perception of you and your business and reflects the positioning of your business? Have you ever even considered that? Well, in today's episode, we're going to be focusing on reliable and secure payment processing as we're joined by our special guest, Terrina Taylor. So plug in your earbuds because you don't want to miss this episode. I'm awesome Angie Engstrom.
And I'm Gita Adgard. And we're so excited to have you here today, Terrina. Welcome to Momentum Makers podcast, sorry. So
Thank you for
excited to have
having me.
you.
I'm excited.
Thank you. I just want to remind our listeners out there to start taking notes because I know that Terrina will be dropping some pure gold. But before she does that, let me just share a little bit about her. Terrina is a credit card processing expert, and she has more than a decade of experience in helping businesses thrive through streamlined payment solutions and financial strategies. So thank you for sharing all of this with our audience today, Terrina. Welcome.
Thank you, Kitty, thank you for having me. I appreciate the opportunity to be on and talk about things that businesses need that's usually overlooked.
So true.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Well, let's jump right in. Like, what inspired you to start your business? Like, what exactly, like, give me 10 seconds what your business is, and then talk about, what inspired you to get that started.
Okay, so the Payments Connoisseur is a merchant services consulting firm, and we focus on merchant accounts, credit card processing equipment, and financial education. And this is specifically, my audience is for minority-owned businesses and women-owned businesses because there was a gap in the knowledge there for those businesses. So that's why I wanted to take my knowledge to that community.
That's
So
fantastic.
specifically, what made me start the business? I started my business in 2021. I have payment experts behind me that have way more experience than I have as a team and partnership. But in 2021, right after the pandemic and people were starting to come back into work, me and my mom has a salon. So I was starting to do more contactless payments at that time because, that was the big thing at that time when people didn't want to, swipe a card or whatever. So I was signed up with Square, and I started noticing some of the different variations of fees. So if a person had their card present and they swiped their card, is a different fee as opposed to if someone had their card stored in my system. So I was kind of curious about why that was, and I started doing some digging. And as an entrepreneur, you're always looking to learn new things. And I found a company, and they were offering pretty much free education and also a partnership to sell the services, be a part of the partnership. So I jumped in and started learning about payment processing and the equipment and everything. And that was pretty much how I got started.
Oh, wonderful. Okay. That's fantastic. So you were solving a need for your own situation.
That's usually how it starts, right?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Wonderful. So Gidi, do you have any questions?
Yeah, I was just gonna ask you to elaborate a bit, Terrina. Do you have any process, steps perhaps for helping your clients?
Well, it all starts with what you have questions about, because a lot of people have a lot of questions that they want answered. Number one is like, what's the fees? And it varies based on the business model. Like for people like me, I'm low risk because most of the people that come into the salon, they have their card present. They want to swipe their card. They get in a service, they swipe their card. So it's usually not a lot of chargebacks involved because they got a service and they usually are happy with their service. Or for more a high risk business that's mostly online or e-commerce or something like that, the risk is a little bit higher because the risk of chargebacks is usually a little higher with online businesses. So the fees are a little bit higher for those businesses, but it's all dependent on your business model. And that's why we always say, if you do have a merchant statement, we would like to get that merchant statement so we can kind of do a cost savings analysis to see where we can save you some money on those fees, because that's the goal for us, is to help you keep some of that money in your pocket.
Wonderful. Okay.
Yeah.
The first step then for Like, so, okay, so say a business owner, talk to us about like a client story. Like, how do you work with people? Like someone would, they're, are they like looking for payment processors, or like, how do people fall into this conversation?
Well, most of my pain points of people is that they sick of PayPal and Stripe. A lot of people, not only with the fees, but the customer service. Some people have been dropped suddenly by PayPal or Stripe, or they've put a hold on their funds. So the frustration after that, they're looking for alternative solutions to look for something that's a little bit more secure and is reliable, and they won't get their funds held or their account shut down. And what a lot of people don't realize is when you sign up with like Stripe, PayPal, Square, you're not really getting an actual merchant account. You're a sub merchant underneath a master merchant account. So those big companies own the merchant account and you're underneath of them. So that's why they don't have an underwriting process or anything like that ahead of time. It's like a quick fix to hurry up and accept some payments. But once you start making a certain amount of money, they'll start looking into your services. And then that's when they be like, oh, you're high risk. But they should have did that. That's like a step that you should take ahead of time. So you'll know that the client is a high risk. So then it kind of mitigates all that risk. So you know what you're dealing with.
Fantastic. So then as someone's researching this, is they kind of stumble into, like your website? Is that what they could stumble into your website and get some questions answered, or?
Yeah, definitely. That's why I offer the ebook as like the first step, because it's a lot of questions there that a lot of people ask. So that's the most common questions. It's 51 questions. So it's the most common questions people have about merchant services. And people don't know. So I just like to give out the information so they'll know. And then any other questions they have, then we can get on a consultation with my team. And anything that I don't know specifically, my team is behind me to answer any of those extra questions that people may have.
Gotcha.
Yeah, because I'm thinking that a lot of us, we don't know we have these alternatives to PayPal or Stripe. So how do they find you?
Mostly online. The only thing about me and social media is that I'm honestly not that consistent with social media. Social media is so draining to me after a while, after you start posting, and I have the information there for people to have, but just being on there constantly, it drains me. So I have to take breaks from social media, but social media is usually how people find me. And then more in my community, I go out and I do networking events and stuff like that for, local stuff.
So then you actually would work with a business owner to see what their options are, and then get them connected with a better solution.
Yeah, we have our partners. We have a span of over 16 different payment partnerships. So if it's a payment gateway you need just for like online e-commerce, we have partnerships with Authorize.net and NMI just for the payment gateway. We have a software specifically that we dedicate for all your financials, any kind of payment links, invoicing, ACH, any type of all the equipment as well. Like if you need like a terminal or a POS system, we have all those partnerships. So it's just dependent on what the business needs. We try to cater to specifically what they need. It's not a like one size fits all solution.
So then is there an upfront fee to have this conversation and get this connected, or?
No, all free. Our consultations are free. I just want to be able to get the information to you and hope that you choose me as your partner, because our partnerships would be lasting. It wouldn't be like a PayPal or Stripe where you don't have somebody to reach out to. We offer 5-star customer service. So I would be your actual direct line of customer service. So any questions you have, any problems you have, we fight chargebacks for you, all of that. So that's why we're here for you.
That's awesome. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
it's so valuable. Yeah.
One
So
of my partners he just posted in our group today that he won a $4,000 chargeback for one of his clients.
wow.
And that's just
Yeah.
awesome that we get to do that for people. That's awesome.
Yeah, it is. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Sure is.
That's
Yeah,
fantastic. So
that's
right now
amazing.
my brain is going to like financing options. So companies that provide is that part of what your services do? Like for
Yeah,
if a company.
we have a partnership with Fundomate for business funding as well. So if you do need business funding, our partnership with Fundomate, you would be able to sign up with them, and You can come through me as well, but I do have a page on my website that you can just sign up, fill out an application right online on my website.
Okay. Because I'm,
Okay, so
go ahead, Geety.
yeah, yeah, I was just thinking, I just want to summarize all the things you actually do for your clients. So you do funding, you do invoicing, and you do,
Any equipment,
okay,
ACH,
yeah,
payment gateways.
okay.
Mhm.
Mm,
So, okay, so a lot of like just more specific to what Geety and I do, we're working with high ticket offers all the time, and not everybody has the funds to, pay for a high ticket item right there, and they might want a payment plan with a financing option. Is that something you provide as well?
Or they would have to go directly through Fundomate. I just have the
That would be the
partnership
only
with
way.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
I have the
mm,
partnership with Fundomate, but you can come through there, and that's how you would get business funding through us. Yes.
Gotcha. Okay, wonderful.
cool.
Excellent. Now, okay, so
I'm trying to look into getting some partnerships with some local banks in my area too, because I work with credit unions. So that's the next step for me in my business, to get some partnerships with some local credit unions as well, because I like credit unions better than regular banks anyway.
oh, that's
Mhm,
wonderful.
Mhm.
mm.
That's awesome. I had another thought. It'll come back to me. Geety, you got anything? Any other
Yeah,
thoughts?
yeah. Let me ask you a question. So, Serena, what do you feel like? What's primarily holding people back from working with you? If you
Um,
should point to a couple of things, yeah.
I would say the social media aspect, like you said, most businesses are consistent on social media, and they show up a lot. And I'm not really a lot on social media. Like I said, I do have the things that I've already posted, but the social media aspect for me is a big thing. That's one of the goals for me this year, is to find somebody for my social media to automate some of that, because I really get burnt out quickly with that. But other than that, they probably just happy with the service that they have for the time being. I know I signed up with one of my friends. She just she's about to open a app. She's about to launch it.
Mm.
And I signed up with the app to be an early funder. And so I told her, once I signed up, I said, more than likely, if you continue with Stripe, you're gonna have a problem. And she didn't even think about it until, I think, about maybe 4 weeks ago. Stripe shut her account down. So now
Oh,
we're looking into getting her a better solution for the app, because she wants to launch, I think, in Q3. So we're trying to get that
nice.
started for her. Mhm.
So I remember my question, ACH. You mentioned ACH. So talk to us about that, because yeah, talk to us about that.
That's actually a new partnership for us. We just got our ACH partnership with Paya. And so that's new to me. So I can't give you a whole lot of information. I do have a slide deck with a couple pointers on it. But a lot of people think what we were taught when we got the partnership is that a lot of people think when ACH is involved, that is actually a free service. But there are some back end fees that we don't know about is regarding ACH. So that's why we try to help business owners to see that there are hidden fees in there, and we want to help you to eliminate some of those fees or get you a better solution with the ACH payments. Because there's a lot of like doctor's office, dentist office, those type of thing, construction, they accept ACH payments, and that's another avenue that we can go with, as opposed to people not accepting a lot of credit cards.
Mm.
Gotcha. Anything else that you can think of that we haven't covered? Because you said there's 51 questions in your ebook.
Yeah.
Is there, that's amazing. Because we've hit a couple things here, like what are some things that maybe we need to talk about to make people aware of, other than what we've spoken so
Just
far?
knowing that we are a direct merchant services provider. We don't go through a third party app. That's one of the things that people ask. The fees, like I said, that varies depending on the business model, but we try to stay close to interchange. Interchange is a model where with the credit cards charge. So your basic credit cards, Visa, MasterCard, Discover, American Express, they charge interchange prices. And I think that's around I think 0.5% per swipe. And then we do an interchange plus model. So the plus would be the fees that our processor we have. And I think that is another think 0.7% or something like that. So we try to stay close to that model as possible, depending on the risk of your business, like I said, but we just try to keep your fees as low as possible. That's the goal.
That's awesome.
Okay.
Wow.
I was thinking, just one question. Your typical client, Terrina, would that be somebody who had problems with PayPal or Stripe, or would it be somebody who's just starting out? Or
Well, the recommendation is that you at least are doing 5K a month.
okay,
A lot of people do have problems with PayPal, Stripe, but that's not like a prerequisite or anything. It's just that's the problem that people have. But as long as you looking to get a secure merchant account, you're actually getting a real merchant account with a real merchant ID number. You won't be a sub merchant underneath a third party. Like I said, we offer a long list of different payment processing providers. So it just depends on what you need. We have payment gateways, and we also have a CRM that really helps to connect all those things. So you'll be able to look at your reporting, your financials. If you have any chargebacks or anything like that, we would be able to look into the system and see those things and, get that done for you.
Gotcha. So what would, because like for me, I'm thinking like for ACH, for example, I just go to my bank and work directly with them. So what would be the advantage of working with you opposed to my original bank?
Oh, the bank just have things that they don't offer as far as customer service and security. It's just certain things like that. That's small things, but if you're into, wanting to look for a better option, we can definitely go over that, with you to look into what we can do for you that can be of better support for you.
That's awesome. I love this. I think the biggest thing that's missing here is people just don't know you exist.
Exactly. That's what it's all
exactly,
about.
yeah.
And me being an introvert, sometimes that's my hard, that's the hard part for me personally. I get drained very quickly, overstimulated. Like sometimes I'll go to networking events and I say 5 people, and then after that I'm ready to go home.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Yeah. Yeah. I'm thrilled to have this conversation with you so that, if anyone listening right now is resonating with what Terrina is sharing, please reach out to her. Is there anything else you want to add before we wrap things up here, Terrina? And other than where to go next?
No, just know that I'm here for you. I'm a business owner myself, and I want to help people. That's the goal, is to help people find better solutions. It's not really about making the money. It's about making long-term partnerships and helping people, businesses keep money in their pocket.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
So, any other client stories that come to mind before we wrap up?
I will have one unsuccessful client story that I wanted to share, and I like to share that one because it was a new business. He had already had a business, but he was starting a new one, and he was from India. He lives here in Maryland, but he was from India, and most of the business that he was going to be doing online was business from his home country. And so the risk was very high. And once we signed him up, he started getting so many chargebacks that we had to drop him. And that's not something that I don't want to have that happen with anybody. So once you start, and that's why we don't like to do like brand new businesses, especially with like the e-com and all that kind of stuff, because the chargeback, the risk is really, really high. So we want to keep that, just in check, make sure we know specifically what your current processing is. That's why we like I said, get a merchant statement. Just make sure we are able to help you, because we don't want to drop you. We don't like dropping people.
Absolutely. Awesome. So
Great.
yeah, go ahead, Gidi.
I was just going to say, so if people want to know more and perhaps grab your ebook, where would they go, Terrina?
It's TerinaTaylor.com, and the specific tag on the end is what is a merchant account.
Okay.
But it's TerinaTaylor.com. You should be able to navigate my website. You'll find it. It's pretty easy.
Okay.
And you mentioned the ebook on there. What's in that ebook? Can you tell our listeners what they're going to expect in that?
51 questions already answered It's pretty much 51 questions you have about merchant accounts, and I already answered them in it. So it's a question style, answer style. So you look in, you see the question, and I answer it for you. And then there's a direct link to book a consultation with me right at the end.
Awesome. I love it. Awesome. Go ahead, Geety.
I was just thinking about wrapping it up, unless you have something more to add, Terrina.
No, Geety, that's great. And I love your accent, by the way. I love Denmark accents.
Okay, thank you. That's so nice.
I love it.
Well, thanks for being on the show today, Terrina. It's been such a pleasure, and you've been sharing so much. So I would just recommend the listeners to go to TerinaTaylor.com to grab your free ebook. I'm Gita Adgar.
And I'm Angie Engstrom. And thanks for listening, everyone. Keep your momentum, keep moving forward. And if you want to learn more about what Geety and I do with Elite Virtual Stages and how we help businesses scale, you can find us on Facebook and on the web at elitevirtualstages.com/report to get our free report on what we're doing with events. And once again, Terrina, thank you so much for joining us. This was lovely getting to meet you and learn what you're doing and just helping entrepreneurs in the world. I love this.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Excellent. Keep being awesome,
Thank you.
everybody.